the night, I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. Somewhere far along this road, he lost his soul to a woman so heartless.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to do an Anti-Valentine's Day themed book review by reviewing the book Heartless by Marissa Mayer, who's also the author of the Lunar Chronicles. If you like The Cinder and those books, I think you'll enjoy this book. But I thought this book really held the values of Anti-Valentine's Day. It's very anti-love and just like awful things happen. So if you're excited for that, let's get into this video. Okay, so I went into this book having no idea what it was going to be about. I knew it had to do with Alice in Wonderland, and I know a lot of people were talking about it, and I was reluctant to read it because I haven't really been an Alice in Wonderland fan. I never really got into the world. I never read the books, and I just wasn't super into it, but everyone was raving about it, so I decided to read it, and it was crazy. So we follow this girl, and her name is Lady Catherine, and she just wants to open her own bakery. She's an amazing baker, and her mom has other plans for her, and her mom wants her to, you know, get married, and she's like a lady, so she's like Lady Pinkerton, and she is supposed to get married and like have a rich husband, like typical old female gender roles from the past. Like every mom wants their daughter to find a good husband, whatever. So, but she wants to open a bakery with her handmaiden because she loves to bake, and she's the best bakery in, did I say Oz? No, in Wonderland. I keep saying Oz when I tell my friends about this book. But she's like the best baker in Wonderland, and so that's what she wants to do, and she's planning to ask her parents to use her dowry that would be used for her marriage to open a bakery. But her parents have other plans, so her mom ends up setting her up basically to a betrothal to the king, and she finds out and she's just not having it, so she tries to do everything to avoid it. And at this party where she discovers that she's actually at her own like proposal party, she is not having it, and she leaves, and she's like about to pass out because she's freaking out. And then she meets the Joker. The king has a new Joker, and she meets him and instantly falls in love with him, and it's just kind of crazy. And she's on this journey to get out of this marriage with the king, because like, how do you say no to the king? So it's really like adventure packed and crazy, and there's a lot of plot twists that I wasn't expecting. I know a lot of people were expecting this in the book, because I think when you read the synopsis you know who this story is about, but because when I started reading it I hadn't read the synopsis, so I didn't know who this was going to be about. So I'm going to now call this moving into the spoilery section. If you want to know who the book is about, you can like watch the first part and then you can leave, but we are starting spoilers now. Okay, so later on you find out that this is the Queen of Hearts, and it just makes me so sad to see how sweet and loving she was, and then her heartbreak leads to her being the awful, off with his head character that we know from the movies, and it's just like crazy. But basically she's trying to run away with this court jester, and it turns out that he's on this secret mission to steal her heart, to save, you know, his town of Chess, which is like the town on the other side of the looking glass, and their queen is kind of, the White Queen's kind of like not that great, so she needs the heart of a brave, kind person, and so that is Lady Pinkerton, but it needs to be a queen. So he comes to the town knowing that she's gonna be queen, but she doesn't know that she's gonna be queen. So it's like this awful twist of fate, and they think they can beat fate, and they don't. They end up on this mission, and he tells her about this legend, I guess, where if you cross the whole town of like the White Kingdom, then you are crowned a queen. So then she would have a queen's heart, and they could help defeat, you know, the red side, and then they could open their bakery and live happily ever after, and she can run away from all her problems. And they're on their way to do that, but to travel through the looking glass and through Chess. I'm sorry if I'm really overexposed. The lighting is so bright today. But on their way traveling through Chess, they meet the Fate Sisters, and the Fate Sisters are like, you can't escape fate, but if you want to make it, you have to do all this, and you have to make sure you don't go through any of these doors. and fate bites her in the ass, and she has to go back and save her handmaiden who betrayed her and told her parents what she was planning to do and that she was running away, and she ends up having to save her handmaiden from the Jabberwocky. And it's just drama. I had so many feels just watching how her life just degraded, and all she wanted to do was like open a bakery with her best friend. And it's just like so sad. Like, this book really made me sad. And when I finished reading it, I like sat there and I was just staring into space, and my roommate's like, what is wrong with you? And I sat there and I blabbed the entire story to him. And then I just sat there and I was thinking about it, and I had a cup of water in my hand and I was staring off into space, and I literally poured the water on my phone. This is not a lie. Like, you can ask my roommate, this happened. And I was just so shocked because I had no idea that this book was about the Queen of Hearts when I started reading it. But slowly I started to get that feeling. So let's talk about some of my favorite scenes. So one of my favorite scenes is when she goes to the play with the king and the Jabberwock attacks, and that's when I personally started to realize that she was the Queen of Hearts, because the court jester's hat is, you know, magical, whatever, and she pulls a sword out of his hat, and then she's gonna like attack the Jabberwock, and in her head she's like, off with his head, you have to take his head off, and like she's repeating the phrase, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the Queen of Hearts, off with his head. I loved Jess. I hate that he had to die. I wish we got to know him more. He just seemed so nice, and I just thought it was really intriguing that he had yellow eyes. Like, not a lot of characters, I mean, I get they live in Wonderland, so of course everyone's a little weird, but I just like his description, and he just seemed like a really cool guy. And he reminds me of another character in Dorothy Must Die. So that was really interesting. I don't know how like canon these books are, and if it would like really align as in something that this could really have happened, because I've never read Alice in Wonderland. So I think it would be interesting to read that series now and see like how canon this is, and if it like actually follows along the timeline that Lewis Carroll would have written. And I just, and it's really interesting to see the backstory of the Mad Hatter. Like, you know, when you watch the movies, everyone loves the Mad Hatter. He's so fun. He's like, they birthday parties and all that stuff, and his tea parties, and he seems so fun. And then just when you find his background, and his story is so sad, and that's why they're, like, basically they make hats, and as he travels through the Looking Glass, like, items that he takes from chests become, like, magical. But because he's making all these hats and, like, they, like, change people, he's kind of getting, like, this sense of power that makes him go mad because, you know, of course, all these horrible things are happening. His best friend, Jess, ends up dying. Like, just, it's scary. And he's really trying to escape his fate because all, you know, his dad and his grandpa and his great-grandpa, all of them have died by going mad and killing themselves from being the Hatter. And I just think it's really sad, and I think that's a terrible, scary fate, and I would understand why he tries to run away from that. Let's see. Another character that I thought was really, really interesting is basically Peter. And I love the use of the, like, the old nursery rhyme, like, Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife but could... And I love how she made that, like, the whole, basically the whole, like, fate thing and why everything happened. Like, I can't think of the word right now, but I just thought that was amazing, especially having his wife turn into the Jabberwock. Like, I don't know if that's the real history behind that poem. I should Google it. I have no idea, but I thought it was really, really well done, and I just thought this book was amazing. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna stop rambling on. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Like, if you made it this far, this super long video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and a like. And if you're spending Valentine's Day alone, like, just think about Lady Pinkerton and her fate and all these horrible things that happened to her. And I just feel so bad. And not to say, like, oh, her problems are worse than yours, but just, like, feel with her. Be sad for her and with her. But I don't know. I don't think you should be sad on Valentine's Day. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just ramble. But if you're alone on Valentine's Day, you can hang out with me. I'm probably going to be, like, reading and live tweeting. So you can follow me on Twitter and we can hang out and we can have like a girls' night and we can do that. So we'll be alone with Lady Pinkerton having a horrible time because we're sad and alone. But we're not sad because we're strong, independent women who don't need no man. But it's okay if we have a man, so you can still come if you have one. I'm trash. Wait, I want to show you guys my dog. She's my roommate's dog, not my dog. Come here. Come here. Come here. Whoa. Who's your big girl? Who's your big girl? Hi. Oh. Oh. Don't lick me. Stop it. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you in our next video. Okay, bye. Say okay, bye. Oh. Okay,